He had ill intentions, evil intentions. I was consistently being forced to do things that a child should not have to do.
Omegle is a hunting ground for predators.
Omegle, a site that lets you connect with strangers randomly, has shut down its operations on November 8, 2023. The founder, Leif K. Brooks, mentioned that the site is no longer sustainable financially nor psychologically. This decision came after a woman named Alice filed a complaint against the site after being paired with a pedophile. The site ran without interruption for 14 long years. This is the site that was launched by an 18-year-old kid from Vermont who lives with his parents with no marketing knowledge. How did this happen? How did a site that was an instant hit among young people and had more organic reach than any other site had finally shut down? What was the darker side of the story that led to closure of the site that had over 73 million active users? This is the story of Omegle and its dark side, which led to its downfall. In the spring of 2009, Leif K. Brooks, an 18-year-old Vermont resident living with his parents, launched an online chat website, Omegle. The website would soon go on to become a cornerstone in internet and pop culture history. Originally, the site included only text-based chatting. Later on, video chat feature was introduced in 2010. The site exploded in popularity almost immediately after its release. The website randomly matched users together in a chat room and allowed them to connect over the internet. It became a place where strangers met, had fun, talked, or even hurled insults at each other. The website was also the first meeting place for soulmates who would later go on to be married. And it was also the reason why many YouTubers, including iShowSpeed, rose to fame. The site's immense popularity landed Brooks on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in 2018. The story is good so far, but there is more to it. You see, Omegle as a company was built on three fundamental pillars: freedom, anonymity, and socializing. This strong foundation was shaken to its core by one single earthquake called human cost, which led to the ultimate demise of the site. This site's beauty lies in its lack of structure. Unlike other platforms with designated chat rooms or profiles, site throws you into random conversations, fostering a sense of spontaneity and adventure. Since there is no sign-up, with just a click, users are plunged into the conversation pool, removing any friction that might deter participation. This ease of access broadens site's reach and encourages casual exploration. If you don't like someone, just skip. You don't have to explain. Users can disconnect from conversations that don't resonate with them. They can choose to skip to a new stranger, effectively filtering out unwanted interactions and maintaining control over their experience. This site shielded users' identities by not requiring any personal information during registration or conversation. This anonymity empowered users to be themselves without fear of judgment or reprisal.
Do you live on like...
Oh, anyway. The short nature of connections further bolstered anonymity. Conversations were not saved or recorded. This temporary arrangement provided a sense of liberation and encouraged carefree interactions. The site also offered optional text masking features, allowing users to further obscure their identities. This provided an extra layer of anonymity for those seeking even greater privacy. Site's random pairing system served as a natural icebreaker. The novelty of the situation and the shared experience of an unknown encounter often encouraged the conversation. This made it easier for people to overcome initial awkwardness and engage in meaningful interactions. After becoming a global sensation, its reach exposed users to a wide range of individuals from different cultures and backgrounds. This diversity broadened perspectives, challenged preconceived notions, and provided opportunities for intercultural understanding and exchange. Unlike other platforms that are centered around profiles and pictures, Omegle placed the emphasis on pure conversation. This focus on verbal communication deepened the relationship. Besides the strong foundations, this site had one big elephant in the room to address: human cost. Brooks mentioned in his statement that miles of copper and fiber optic cables between users acted as a shield, and one user can't hurt others through site's interaction, but that's far from reality. Virtually every tool can be used for good or for evil, and that is especially true of communication tools due to their innate flexibility, he added. Omegle has been plagued with pedophiles and sex offenders who prey on children and persuade them to perform sex acts, expose them to porn, or even meet in real life. Brooks mentioned in his statement that he has employed humans and AI to go extra lengths in content moderation, but the reports from BBC suggested otherwise. The site was solely run by him with no other registered employees, and no complaints were acted upon when he was offline. This is a major flaw. A site with millions of active users needs more tech and human moderators behind the scene, and not let the predators slip away. But that didn't happen. And as a result, several underage girls were exposed to pedophiles and subjected to sexual exploitation and caused severe mental trauma. And one such incident has pushed the site over the edge. The young woman was identified as AM, sued Omegle in 2021, saying that in 2014, when she was 11, the chat service matched her with a man named Ryan Scott Fordyce, who was then in his late 30s. In the court papers, Alice refers to Fordyce as Omegle Predator. Indeed, in 2021, he was sentenced to prison in Canada for exploiting Alice and other girls, after police found thousands of illegal photos and videos on devices in his home in 2018. In their first contact, Alice and Fordyce exchanged only text messages on Omegle, but they then connected on Kik and other outside platforms. Over the next 3 years, Fordyce forced Alice to take and send naked photos and videos of herself engaging in sex acts of his choosing. According to the lawsuit, Alice said Fordyce threatened her, saying he would release pictures of her and possibly bring about her arrest. He also pressured her to recruit other underage girls. The ordeal lasted while she was 11 to 15 years old. In her lawsuit, Alice accused Omegle of product liability, saying the site was defectively designed and lacked proper warnings. The sole warning for kids on Omegle's website states that you must be 18 plus or 13 plus with parental permission and supervision to use the site, adding that despite those warnings, the site did not require users to enter a birth date or certify a parent's consent. Finally, both parties were able to come to an undisclosed agreement to settle the case, leading to dismissal of the case in federal district court in Oregon. In his farewell message, Brooks portrayed himself as fighting two main battles: to detect crimes and prevent potential abuses, and to keep his site's lights on. He compared shuttering the site to closing off Central Park because crimes are sometimes committed there. But in the end, he said, the stress and expense of keeping the site online were overwhelming. While Omegle offered unique ways to connect and explore, its lack of safeguards ultimately proved fatal. The website's key feature, anonymity, was incapable of protecting its youngest and most vulnerable users. Internet is a wonderful place after all. It will let you become a better version of yourself and grow beyond your boundaries. But without the right amount of moderation, it can turn lives upside down.